Diamondlot, The Diamond Squad. By Eric Waugh. Chapter 22. Warlock. Gia yelled at the Warlock and then cast a spell hurling it at the intruder. Unfortunately, the Warlock reflected the energy blast with ease and sent it right back at Gia. Lilu and the Grex saw this and were disgusted by what the Warlock had done. With anger in their eyes, the critters charged at the Warlock, hoping to tackle him down. The Warlock was unfazed and used his Dark Chain Lightning attack to strike them all simultaneously. The lightning was about to hit, but Nathan pulled out his giant sword and jumped in front of the attack. Unfortunately, there was no way he could spin faster than lightning, so he took a massive hit and slammed against the wall. Seeing what Nathan did for them, the Grex and Lilu re-engaged against the Warlock, but he cast another spell that blew them away. That left Gia as the only one who was conscious, but she was struggling to get back on her feet. The Warlock slowly approaching her, and when he was close, he tapped the bottom of the staff against the ground. That triggered a portal to appear before them that slowly opened. Inside was a slumbering Leviathan that Gia was hoping she would never see again. That was when Gia realized that the Warlock was responsible for everything that happened on Turtle Isle. She had a sudden burst of energy to retaliate, but the Warlock casted a curse to seal her voice. While she was quiet, the Warlock revealed why he attacked the island years ago. He was sent here by the Mad King to annihilate the Turtle Isle. He was expecting an easy task, as he would summon the Great Leviathan by offering the island's inhabitants as sacrifices and allow it to terrorize the entire island. But a little girl managed to save the population of the turtles by using a spell to turn them all into the Grex. The Leviathan was so disgusted by their appearance that it would not eat them, and it fell into a deep slumber without any food. After that, word spread to the Mad King's army, and the Warlock's reputation was sullied. He blamed all his failures on Gia. When he finished talking, the Warlock casted a spell that restricted Gia from moving. Slowly, he used the telekinetic spell to move her towards the slumbering Leviathan. Gia came inches away from becoming the last sacrifice required to resummon the beast, but a spinning tornado of lightning charged at the Warlock. He was forced to release Gia from his bind, dropping her just shy of the portal. The Warlock looked as the tornado slowly stopped spinning, and emerging from the electrifying whirlwind was Nathan. Nathan's weapon was now surging with electrical energy, and he thanked the Warlock for upgrading his weapon. The Warlock was slightly impressed, but he wasn't going to hold back any longer. He raised his staff high and somehow conjured up a multitude of lightning bolts that were raining down on Nathan. This forced Nathan to use his whirlwind technique to defend himself. If he were to stop for even a second, one of the bolts would surely strike him. The lightning continued to pour on against Nathan, preventing him from switching to the offensive, but the Warlock had been so distracted by Nathan he didn't see Gia hit him with a spell from behind. Regretting his decision to leave Gia alone, he immediately launched a spear of dark energy right at her. But once again, Nathan spun in to intercept and deflect the attack away. They managed to keep up this pattern of Gia attacking and Nathan defending, which eventually drove the Warlock into deep frustration. Because of that, he made more mistakes and got hit by Gia's attack. Seeing the Warlock in a weakened state, Gia let up her attack, but Nathan remained vigilant in case he had another trick up his sleeves. The Warlock responded by casting a quick spell to create some separation between him and his two opponents. Then he cast another spell where he opened up a portal from the ground and pulled the person from below. It was Bella, who had been captured and unconscious. Nathan yelled as loud as he could, hoping Bella would wake up, but she could not hear him. Gia was disgusted by the Warlock, but there was nothing she could do. The Warlock was about to throw Bella as a sacrifice, but a lance pierced into his arm. Zaid managed to surprise the enemy at the perfect time, even though he was barely able to stand. Gia used her magic to take control of Bella and move her to safety. But when the Warlock saw what was happening, he used a reverse spell on Gia's telekinesis, and without knowing, Gia accidentally pushed Bella towards the portal. Gia, Zaid, and Nathan's faces were all filled with terror. They couldn't believe what had just happened, and the worst was still to come. The Warlock raised his hands to celebrate his victory. However, the Leviathan continued to sleep as Bella shot out of the portal. The Warlock was confused as to why the human offering wouldn't work. While he was still in disbelief, Nathan dashed in to kick the Warlock, knocking him inches away from the Leviathan's portal. He then picked up Bella and began carrying her away, but the Warlock refused to quit. Even though he was on his belly, the Warlock conjured a mystical chain that wrapped around Nathan's leg, causing him to trip. With him getting dragged back, Nathan made sure to toss Bella over to Zaid, who caught her, but now Nathan was in trouble of being fed to the giant monster. The Warlock had a firm grip on Nathan's leg, but luckily Gia had enough energy to cast another magical blast. Not only did it break the Warlock's grasp on Nathan, but the attack also sent the Warlock spiraling towards the Leviathan. As the Warlock got pulled in, the portal closed and disappeared. Nathan, Bella, Gia, and Zaid had survived against one of the Mad King's strongest minions.